Hey guys, welcome to Engineering Academy. Today we will see the cost breakdown of constructing a residential building. So, understanding the percentage of total cost for the materials and labor is crucial for effective budgeting. So, let's get started. In this video, we will only talk about the materials used in construction of frame structure. It means that we will only see those materials that are used in the structural frame of a building. Structural frame, they include beam, column, slab, of course the footing, and in the finishing part, we will only see the brickwork including the plastering. So why we have included only the structural part and not the entire finishing part? It's because the finishing part of a building or of a structure, the cost of the finishing part, it entirely depends upon the client. So if the client needs sophisticated finishing materials, then the cost will be high. And if the client needs standard materials or let's say average materials, then the cost will be low. For instance, let's take an example of the floor finish. The floor finish can be cement screeding plus punning, which is the cheapest option. Then it can have floor tiles, it can have marble, it can have granite. And within the granite, the cost can vary depending upon its properties and its finishing. First, let's talk about the cement. Cement is the binding material that holds everything together in concrete and the mortar. Typically, in a residential building, cement constitutes about 16 to 20% of the total construction cost. Now let's talk about the steel. Steel is a significant component, especially for the reinforcement in concrete structures. So steel can be used for other purposes, for example, for the roofing works, for the porch areas, for construction of the garage. But typically here we are talking about the steel that is used in the RCC or in the concrete. So steel is one of the most expensive materials and it contributes 20 to 25% to the total cost. Okay, so if we see cement and steel together, cement and steel occupy significant percentage of the total construction cost, making it very important to control the wastage. Minimizing waste not only saves money but also ensures the efficiency and sustainability of the construction process. For cement, you need to ensure proper storage to prevent exposure to moisture, which can cause it to harden and become unusable. So you have to measure and mix cement accurately to avoid excess use. And also you have to plan the construction activities properly to avoid over ordering and wastage. And for steel, you have to store steel in a proper location and you have to cut and bend steel bars accurately according to the design to minimize offcuts and waste. For this, when you prepare the bar bending schedule in order to give to the steel foreman, the guy who does all the cutting and bending, so you have to think and you have to make the bar bending schedule in such a way that the wastage is minimum. So there are minimum cuts and the cuts or the pieces are not shorter than let's say 1 meter. Also what you can do is that you can use the leftover steel pieces in smaller construction elements or recycle them. The wastage that you get from the bar bending schedule, that you can use them and you can recycle them in other construction as well. And you also have to maintain accurate inventory records to avoid over ordering and ensure efficient use. So by controlling wastage of cement and steel, you can significantly reduce construction cost and contribute to a more sustainable building process. So now let's talk about the sand. Sand is a vital component for concrete, we all know that, and it is also a vital component in the mortar and plastering. Sand usually makes up about 8 to 12% of the total cost. So another important thing in the concrete are the aggregates, and they account about 6 to 8% of the overall cost. So these are the components of the aggregate. Now let's talk about the bricks. So bricks used for the wall construction make up about 8 to 10% of the total cost, and also the type and quality of the bricks can affect this percentage. For example, if you are using a high quality brick, then the cost might be high, and if you are using an average quality brick, then the cost might be lower. So finally, now let's talk about the labor cost. So labor costs are a significant part of the budget, accounting for 20 to 30% of the total construction cost. This can vary based on the region and the complexity of the project. So for example, if you're working within a state or within a country, then within that country also, the labor cost can vary. So if the location is in the remote area, then the labor cost will definitely be high, and if the location is in the urban area, the labor cost will be low. And also for the complexity of the project, if it is a simple project, then the labor cost will be low, and if it's a complex project, the labor cost will be high. So one thing that you need to remember is that these percentages are thumb rules for the calculations. Okay, so these are not the percentage that you used for ordering the materials. These are not the accurate values. These can change, and they largely depend on the location, design, and market conditions. So for ordering the materials and for doing the detailed cost estimation, you have to conduct a detailed cost analysis for your specific project. Alright guys, so I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope to see you in the next video.